Former presidential candidate Peter Obi has taken legal action against activist Adeyanju following a series of public accusations. Peter Obi's lawyers, in a notice, demanded a retraction and an apology from Adeyanju for what Obi's lawyers call defamatory publications. It states that Adeyanju has repeatedly published false and malicious statements designed to injure Obi's reputation, both in Nigeria and abroad, including an accusation that Obi invested state funds into a family-owned company during his tenure as governor. The legal notice specifically cites a social media post from August 21st, 2025, in which Adeyanju allegedly claimed that Peter Obi could only be president of the obedience on social media and that his supporters represent political extremists. Well, in a defiant response on Facebook, Adeyanju publicly dismissed Peter Obi's legal threat as laughable, expressing his eagerness to confront him in court while reiterating his previous claims. A lawyer, he continues with the defamatory statements on his social media accounts. We know that the legal battle intensifies a long-standing public dispute between the two parties, which began when Adeyanju had previously sued one of Peter Obi's aides for alleged defamation against his wife. I'll take some tweets before I come to you, Ion. This is from Pato, who wrote on X: when you shift from insults and criticisms to making categorical allegations about someone offering you a bribe, it goes beyond mere critique and becomes a serious accusation. Deji is not just any random social media user. He boasts about his 25 years of activism and is now a lawyer. He should recognize the difference between hypothetical and categorical statements when making the former, especially regarding an allegation of bribery. One must be prepared to substantiate the claim. Furthermore, Deji personally requested this. He publicly expressed his desire for it. As a lawyer, he has the skills to officially write to the anti-corruption agencies with a comprehensive petition if he was convinced that any actions taken by Obi in office constituted an act of corruption. Yet, he didn't do that. Instead, he wakes up every day throwing around all manner of categorical statements about acts of corruption. Another Twitter user wrote, "This case will really test the line between free speech and protecting someone's name. If Obi feels his image has been damaged, the court is the right place to sort it out." At the same time, activists and politicians both need to be careful with their words, like I said earlier. The truth will show in court. I hope justice will be upheld.
I think that last statement, that last sentence is the most important, one of the most important things made in terms of, I hope that justice will be held. And we've talked about the justice system in Nigeria. Sometimes it's said to favor a particular class to the other, but I want to hope and I believe, because we must uphold our institutions, that's the only recourse we have. Dr. Bati had mentioned earlier on that you cannot resort to self-help. You have to approach the court. So we hope that the courts will follow due process and really be the bastion of justice. But let me talk about this case. And I think it's important that Mr. Peter Obi has taken this step. I'm not the court. I cannot determine whether or not Mr. Adeyanju's statements was defamatory. He would have to prove himself or prove the accusations that he has made on his X account in court to beyond reasonable doubt. But we have had so many instances where, whether it be activists or surrogates or people who have been paid by a political party or a person, a political figure, come out to make spurious statements online defaming individuals or personalities. And usually people will just say, turn the other cheek, this is politics, you know how it is, anything happens, people can say what they like. But after a while, it is important to actually make an example of certain people when they make careless statements or put out careless thoughts like this out there. We might think it's an innocent, it's political jabs, but Mr. Adeyanju is an influential figure. And there are many gullible people who would go online and read certain things and accept it as the word. It is important when you make statements like this to be able to back it up with proof and not just come out because you have a computer and you have access to the internet to make statements. It's not just Adeyanju who does this. A number of people, faceless, just come out and make many kinds of statements. I believe that if indeed he's able to go to court and is unable to prove this statement, and he's made an example. Perhaps he will teach a lesson, to a lot of people who come out and just take on a figure and spew words, spew lies, talk about things, and expect that in the spirit of magnanimity, you would overlook it and just move on to the next. I hope to see the end of this case, and if found guilty, I hope Adeyanju faces the law. If he's not found guilty, then Mr. Peter Obi owes the people an explanation and an apology.